Hello, children. Let's start the second part of our lesson, The Making of a Scientist. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarch. Next year, there was a science fair in that his project was to find out why he has to test a theory which says that viceroy butterflies copy monarch butterflies. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds. So, the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. The reason what they put forward, the scientists put forward did a theory that yes, they look like monarch butterflies, and the reason behind that is that monarch butterflies do not taste good to birds, but viceroy butterflies are good to eat for bird food. But it was just as much as they will look like monarch butterfly, they will become less are the chances for them to become the bird food. So, this was the theory which was put forwarded. If Bright's project was to see whether, in fact, birds would eat monarchs, his theory was just to test this whether birds will eat monarch butterflies or not. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food, it would eat all the monarchs it could get. Then he did the experiment and found out that Sterling is the name of a bird, that is Maina Hindi mein. Okay, that bird will not eat ordinary bird food, but it would be able to eat all the monarch butterflies it could get. So, Ebright said later research by the other people showed that viceroy butterflies probably do copy monarchs. But it was told by Ebright, yes, it is true that the viceroy butterflies copy monarch. This project was placed first in zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. Now, in zoology division of the science fair, he got first prize and third in overall science fair. In his second In his second year in high school, Richard E. Bright began research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. In second year in high school, he discovered something else, an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, this created or this put a new, like you can say, it was a new step towards the Indirectly, it also led to his new discovery, his new theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? This was his project. Everyone assumed that the spots were just ornamentals, Ebright said, according to other people. They did not find it anything extraordinary in this. According to them, it was just for the just ornamental, just to attract or for to show off. But Bright said, but Dr. Arkhart did not believe it. So Dr. Arkhart, in the beginning, who had inspired or who had given him the direction in the field of science, that doctor said that he did not believe in this. To find the answer, Ebright and other excellent science students first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. Now, one more student along with Ebright, they started finding out what was the reason for this. The project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into International Science and Engineering Fair. Now you see how his hard work paid him. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during summer at the entomology laboratory of Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Entomology is the study of insects, children. As a high school junior, Richard E. Bright continued his advanced experiments on monarch pupa. He continued his theory, his experiments. That year, his project won first place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in Army laboratory during summer. This is how he climbed the ladder of success step by step. In his senior year, that was his junior year at the high school, and this is his senior year at the high school, he went a step further. He grew the cells from a monarch's wing in a culture, like in the lab. Culture is in the lab. In appropriate conditions, he grew the cells from a monarch's wing and showed that cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if were fed the hormone from the gold spots. That project won first place for the zoology at the International Science Fair. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army Laboratory and at the Laboratory of US Department of Agriculture. The following summer, after that year, next year, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. He was able to know more about the chemical structure of the hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout Eureka or even I have got it. But he believed that, along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of the biology's puzzles: how the cell can read or the blueprints of its DNA, how the things are copied, how the characteristic traits are copied. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is the blueprint for life. Ebright and his college roommate, James R. Ong, worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of the molecules to show how it could happen. They started drawing the pictures and making the plastic models how DNA can be called the blueprint of life. Together they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Surprisingly, no one who knew him, Richard E. Bright, graduated from the Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of 1,510 students. E. Bright went on to become a graduate student researcher at the Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory further. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some type of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of a bright scientific curiosity. All these things became possible because of his curious nature about science. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to the theory about cell life. Now, it was just to find out the hormone in the wings or the spots, in the spots of golden spots of monarch butterfly. That just gave him a pavement, you can say a beginning, which lead to further about the which lead to his further theories, that was about the cell life. Richard E. Bright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies. When he started collecting the butterfly, from that time onwards, he became interested in science, but not so deeply that has not time for other interest. But he was not so deeply involved in that. E. Bright also became a champion debater and public speaker and a good canoeist and all round outdoor person. He was not only involved in all these activities, but he was a good debater. He was a champion debater, public speaker, orator, you can say, a good canoeist. Canoeist, a type of boat, canoe, which is called canoe. The one who rows that boat, that is known as canoeist. He was good at all these things, an all round outdoor person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. In high school, Richard E. Bright was a straight A student. In high school, he was very simple and always got A grade. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards a debating and model United Nation Club. He used his energy towards debate competitions, which were organized by these United Nation clubs. He also found someone to admire Richard A. Wherer, his social study teacher and advisor to both clubs. Mr. Wherer was a perfect person for me then, Ebright said. Mr. Wherer, his SST teacher, was a best person for him. He opened my mind to new ideas, Ebright said. Why he liked him a lot? Because he opened his mind for this new world. Richard would always give the extra effort, Mr. Wherer said. What pleased me was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research, besides doing all his research with butterfly and other in interest. Why he was happy with the boy? Teacher was happy with the boy because not only he devoted his time in his research work, but also he prepared himself for the debate, and he also continued or explored his other hobbies also. Richard was competitive, Mr. Werer continued, but not in a bad sense. He was a good competitor, but not in a bad sense. He explained Richard wasn't interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. He was not at all interested in winning to win something or to win a prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. For the right reasons, he wanted to do the best. And that is one of the ingredients in the making of a scientist. Start with a first rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. Ebright has these qualities. All these qualities which make a true scientist were possessed by Ebright. From the time the book, The Travel of Monarch 10, opened the world of science to him, Richard E. Bright never lost his scientific curiosity. That's all, children, about the lesson. Go through the lesson carefully.